All right, let's take a tour of my equipment closet. I'll tell you what I think is necessary and what I think is optional. What's just extra. You don't need to store a lot, so you can teach all the core with the basics. There are a few specialty items, but not very many. This is a jump rope cart. I don't usually have jump sticks hanging on it, but I wanted to show you what those were. They break easily and they're not necessary, but the band here, the cord is attached to the bottom and the kids twirl it around and jump over it. So that's really nice for the younger kids to learn timing with a jump. There are other ways to do it that are less expensive. On the jump rope cart, I have hula hoops. Hula hoops are absolutely necessary. You really can't teach PE without hula hoops. They're really fun and versatile, so you can use them for lots of different activities, not just hula hooping. These ones I've had since 2001 and it's now 2025, so I've had them for 25 years and none of them are kinked, so get good quality ones. We have I'm just going to move this to the side so you can see. We have 10-foot jump ropes, and I like to coordinate the handles. So the 10-foot are black, green handles are 9-foot, and I labeled those on the side. And then here we have our 8 feet and 7 feet. You don't need very many 7 feet, I've noticed. I have had these for a long time, and I've replaced some of the taller ones for the older kids, but I like these better than link ropes for indoors. They are a little bit harder for the kids to time with, but they are different sizes that fit them better. Here we have 4 gym mats. I've only ever had 3. I wish that I had more. 6 would be ideal, I think. I did get one from surplus a couple of years ago. Portable soccer goals, just a set of 2. Unnecessary, you can use other things, but it's nice to have. These are 3 sets of baby gates. They're 32 gates, 3 sets of 8. And I use those for Gaga Ball, but you can use other barriers. Walmart air-filled balls are awesome. You really need some of those. It's really great for the little ones to catch the large ball that they need to be able to catch by a skilled thrower, usually me. And we have noodles. You need pool noodles, mostly halved noodles, but I have whole pool noodles there for something I used once, and I saved them so I could cut them in half when those ones are torn up. Jerseys or pennies of some kind are helpful, although I don't use them as much as I used to. These are just poles, plastic poles that go into a base. It looks like a dome, and you can put signs and things on them, but I don't use those very often. In this white bin, all the contents are fitness drumming supplies. The buckets I use for so many things. Can jam, just holding different things. They're so convenient. They're flexible, and the kids will lean on them. You have to train them not to lean on them when the yoga ball's inside or to climb inside them. But they can be black duct taped and they've lasted a long time. A ton of yoga balls, fitness balls. You really need one for each kid, or at least half set so they can work in partners. These together make a structure to hold yoga balls on, though I've never used it. I got it from a teacher thinking I would, and then I haven't the last couple of years, so maybe someone else will use it after me. Inside here are all of the connectables, and the screws are in that little medicine bottle over there. And then there are the drumsticks, and those are really nice drumsticks. They do crack if the kids throw them on the ground, so gotta be careful, teach how to take care of things. These are random balls that I've had for a while or peeled, and you really do need some gator balls like this, dodgeball type balls. I do have a bag here and a bag here, and I used to have probably maybe 3 times that many, but I haven't ordered them recently, and they lasted a really long time until I got a bad order. Had to replace those, but if you order from Gopher, they'll replace them for free, and if you have just 2 that are bad, they'll probably send you a set of 6. Well, let's see. Okay, a ropes course bag up there. It's unnecessary, but it's super fun for cooperative activities, small groups, large groups, and if you have one, now you know what it is. I've added to mine, so there's quite a few other things in there, but that can be found on the shared drive. Okay, under here we have all the soccer balls. If you have the time to take the air out of all the balls that you use, it's better for storage. I don't always have the time, and so I just let them kind of go sort of flat and then pump them when I need them. There are some random balls in here too, some playground balls and 4 square balls, and then some bigger footballs. But I got these, so behind this cart, I got these little footballs a while ago, and I really love them, but the older kids, they like to use the big football or their own, which is totally fine. But these are soft, they're grippable. I did have a dog on the field bite holes in a few. That was fun. But they're really good. And then I just use these for storage. Like they're stackables, and I'll put 2 jump ropes in each one if I'm using long link ropes, so that they don't get tangled. Or, you know, all of these kinds of balls up here and these kinds of balls down there, or put your paper in here. So that's convenient to have. These basketballs I've had for many, many years. They're not in great shape. They hold air, they're not bubbled, but they don't have grip. So mostly I did order these a while back, and I use those for indoors. But when I go outside, I just get them from Open Supply or your general supply, the warehouse, those brown ones, and then I donate them to the kids. I'll write their class name on them, and I do that with the long link ropes too, so you won't see any of those in here. And that's just another ball. It's not a Walmart one, it's just a random one I got from my daughter-in-law, and I cut off the fabric. Then, of course, we have the scooter cart. You really need some kind of storage for scooters. I like this one. We can fit a ton on here. I think there's 36. I store them flat sides together and wheel sides together usually. And that's the way I've found that they fit the best. The kids can be trained to do that easily. Most of mine now are connectables, but when I first started, I only had a set of 12 and they were not connectable, and they're still in great shape. They come with outdoor and indoor wheels, but I find that I really like these ones. These ones are fine. These ones do get stuck. They do have things stuck in them, but I don't know. They just roll better. I don't know. You can do what you want. Let's see. Let's start on this shelf. I have 2 scoreboards, and we use those mostly for field day, or like if at the end of a unit we're going to keep score on a hockey game or something, then we'll use those, but I don't use them very often. Those buckets, sponges, and cones are used for field day. There's a tug-of-war rope in there, and we haven't used it for a long time. It needs to be re-braided on one side. Here we have a lot of items for balance and coordination. So we have the teeter boards, twist boards, and these are all unnecessary, but I got them at Five Below when I had some money. These domes are so great for balancing. The kids can stand on them with different points of balance. I have two stacks. There's another stack back there. That you can make paths with them, like they're walking through a river on slippery rocks. And then we have jump bands. I recommend having those. And juggling balls are unnecessary. I always teach with scarves first, but there are some kids who master that and need to move on to something harder. I had one kid use bowling pins. These plastic bowling pins. Okay, I do have some random combs up there, but the ones that I use are these ones. I take them out to the field. They're so easy to clean up and lightweight. Here there are 2 agility ladders for coordination. So that's like coordination and balance there. And I do have these carpets that were donated forever ago. I put the balance boards, the twist boards on those so I don't ruin the tiled floor wax. For cooperation, I have mini parachutes, 6 of them. They're really fun. They're not necessary, but they're awesome. And then I ran a program called Ready Body Learning Minds, and I got these with that, and they're balance beams that are connectable so the kids can make shapes, and we've done all kinds of activities with these. They're not necessary, but they are really nice to have. Down here we have a canopy. I asked for a canopy, and the principal went overboard and got me a bigger one, thinking that that was really helpful. But it's too big to fit in the wagon that I use to take things out. It's very heavy, so you want to think about that. Here are some striking things and running bases. These are really nice. I got these later in my career, about 4 years ago, and they are adjustable baseball tees. They're very heavy. I take them out in my car and roll them to the field. I have a few bats. I only need like 6 for a station, 6 batting stations, and small group, activities. And then I made these for the younger kids or for kids who aren't being safe with a bat. PVC pipe and a noodle. And then bases. We have some for field day back there. These are giant parachutes. When I taught whole grade levels at a time, we used those, but they're really big for one class. One class struggles a little bit with them, and that's just a 12-footer I got from a music teacher. That's unnecessary. This tube to crawl through is fun for the littles when they need to go over, under, through, and locomotor skills, but it's not necessary. They can crawl under. I'll show you something cool in a few minutes. Let's go up here. We have capture the flags that I've never used. Upper grades play those games all the time, and the kids get tired of them, so I got those from another school, and they're here in case they're needed. Here we have 6 trainer volleyballs and 2 real volleyballs, and they're deflated. I really like those soft play balls. You can use them for volleyball, but you can also use them for nitro ball, which is like upside down volleyball. Some volleyball nets, and then you really need some good paddles. One for every kid. Those are really important for short-handled striking. And we have our set of bowling pins. Then we get to our throwing and catching area. I got these this year with some extra money from Foundation, and I love them. The Velcro mitts with the Velcro balls, and the students really like them too. They get to practice catching with their non-dominant hand, throwing with their dominant hand, which is helpful. Frisbees and discs, foam discs. You need a lot of bean bags. I've had a lot of bean bags over the years. This is plenty, but they will disappear and get ruined over time. I don't have any scoops and balls left except these 4, and that would be nice to have a set of those. Rubber chickens, super fun but unnecessary, and this set of outdoor indoor horseshoes has been helpful. I've used it less lately, but it's really helpful for underhand throwing, tossing. It's not necessary though. I have ordered a lot of small balls in the past, and now I have a very large bin of random small balls and ones that I've collected from different places, random things, and the kids like to practice rolling these, catching them, hitting them with their paddles, and seeing what happens with different types of balls that bounce or don't bounce, or heavier or lighter. Back there are a lot of playground balls that I ordered a long time ago when I first started, and just haven't used them all. They're very small. And those two, I use those a little bit more, because when my 8-inch and 6-inch ones were used up, then, what's this? Oh, this is a 6-inch. So it must have been my 8-inch ones. They're back there. There's only 4 left. I did like those a lot, but I'm using the smaller ones now because that's what I have. I have 3 like class size parachutes, or slightly like 24 handles, slightly less than 1 class size, but they share in between handles. And some of them are torn. Then some giant tennis balls. I got 6 of them at Five and Below just for some cooperative activities. They're not necessary. I have a large bucket of many tennis balls, which are super fun for lots of activities, but you don't need to have that many. And you probably don't even need any if you have some other balls that bounce. Then we have our long-handled implements. These are unnecessary, but you should have at least one thing, or be able to borrow at least one long-handled implement. This is throwing and catching, and this core talks about striking with a long-handled. So you don't really need lacrosse sticks, but I got them at Surplus, and I had some 6th graders teach other 6th grade classes how to use them. Then hockey sticks, that's what I like. These are goalie sticks. They're a different angle. I really like these pucks. They're kind of rubbery, but solid, and they slide really nice on your tile floors. Or you can go outside or use carpet with some hockey balls. And these do crack and break over time, so I have some random ones in there that are a little bit taller. Think about that, because the little kids don't have it in their curriculum to use long-handled striking implements. It's really not developmentally appropriate for them, although it can be fun. So these short ones that would fit them best aren't really best. I mean, I don't want to bend over. I'm going to use one hand, but that's not proper. So I do have some that I got at Surplus that are longer, and those are more appropriate. So I would spend the money on a few longer ones rather than so many small ones. In this barrel, I have tennis rackets I also got at Surplus, 100% unnecessary, but if you have wall space with a flat surface underneath, like outside, those would be helpful. I know junior highs like them to have some of those skills. For me, all of our outdoor walls have glass windows, or if they are flat surface, there's grass underneath so the balls won't bounce. Here are extra net bags for when you want to take your equipment out and you want to carry it in a bag instead of a bin. These 3 bags are portable net systems. I really like the new pop-up ones, but these are metal connectable. The pieces slide together so they fall apart really easily and you're fast to clean up. And the kids really like them. It's called Ultranet Juno Portable Net System. I'll open one to show you. It looks like this, and the pieces look like this. You insert the pieces together, but they don't stay together. So they come apart really easily, which is nice for cleanup, but not nice when you have to move them around. Here I have some of the larger sized hula hoops that weren't as good quality. They were almost as good, but they broke when we had PE outside. So I called Gopher and they sent me a new set. I have lots and lots of not broken ones in another closet, but these ones I love. You can use these to put in your cones and make an arch that the students can crawl under, duck under, roll their scooters under. So you need lots and lots of cones. So here we are in the chair room of my school. And I do store temporary equipment here when I'm using it because my other closet is on the cafeteria side of the gym and this is closer to the stage. But there are only a few things in here and most of them are not necessary. Behind me you'll see the hula hoops. These are the large ones, and my custodian a couple of years ago put these hooks up, which are really nice. The door does lock. I can keep everything safe when the gym is being rented. The rest of it are volleyball poles. And in the core, we don't have a lot of high net activities or skills that use those high nets. We have a well-developed overhand volley, bumping, forearm pass, serving. You can teach those, and I have taught them, but they're not necessary. So if you have the portable nets, badminton height is sufficient for what we need to teach, and those are more convenient anyway, and easier to store. And then these are modified pull-ups. They open up like a triangle. They're very heavy. The students lay down with their head on this end and with their body in different positions. They can hold the bar and do a pull-up. Unnecessary, but I had extra money a long time ago when I didn't need anything else. The sit and reach is really helpful, but you can make it with a box and a yardstick and then throw it away and not keep it around. This giant soccer ball is also super fun, but I've stopped using it for a lot of the activities like crab soccer and circle soccer, which are old school activities and can injure students. I mostly use it for giant foursquare. This cart I bought thinking I needed it, but then I found a better one at Surplus that has the basketballs on it in my closet. And it's just too long and I don't know where to store it. If I was staying, I may cut it in half and then stack it up so that it takes up less space. But even the dodgeball size balls slip right through it when pushed, so it's not as useful as you might think it is. There are a few things that I keep in my office. Not usually the wagon, but you do need something to help you take equipment out to the field unless you're gonna just use students and set up when you get out there. Lots and lots of spot markers. I've numbered a lot of mine for younger grades to memorize their seating chart. These batons, I love the running batons, but I only really use maybe 4 to 6 at a time. Juggling scarves, you can borrow them from your music teacher sometimes, but those are good to have for coordination. Then shoulder folders, and those you put station cards in and you put it over the top of a cone. I love my walkie chalk. You put sidewalk chalk in it, and you can draw all over the ground outside instead of using cones or different things that then you don't have to take things out. You do need a good ball pump. That's my really good one, and that's my newer one. It's really loud. If you're going to use seating on the stage or any carpet, you can use those kind of Velcro dots. You need floor tape. And it's really helpful to have an electronic whistle so that the whistle's not so close to your ears. Some dollar store dice or some other kind of dice. These are not necessary, the ribbon wands, but they're really fun. And when they have to do like dance sequences, a lot of kids like those, but I would probably shorten them. I've had them for a long time, but I just untie the knots. They get knotted really easily. When you're doing muscle stations and you want kids to see their form, like with a push-up, these mirrors are super helpful. You can lay them on their side, students can watch. This year I used them for a couple of students who were struggling with moving their arm different ways when they were jumping rope. So those are really helpful, but not necessary. The last thing is a spark binder. So if you're not PE trained or just want a skeleton curriculum to cover a lot of standards, then you can get a spark kit and a folio to match. There's one for K through 2, one for 3 through 6. The new ones have a lot more information in them, but I think that's unnecessary unless you're required to integrate. These are just fine for a skeleton curriculum for your first year. Good luck.